Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the Mixdown series. Part 1 we covered the drum channels. In this one we're going to cover the main resound, just the bus, the group channel for the res. You can see there's 3 parts of the res here, but we're not going to go into those today. We're just going to go into the main channel for that, and then the main mids bus, which has all the different mid sound you can see here. And then also we're going to take a look at the sub bus. So let's begin on this main res channel here. So to start with, took off everything below 60. Now you might think this is quite high up, and it is, but I didn't want to cut everything off the low end before I processed it in terms of distortion. So I took it off on the main mids bus at 99. But so yeah, just attenuating the low slightly. I probably felt at the time that this was poking through a bit too much, so I had to take it back. Just to boost that 170 for that warmth, and then taking away the muddy region, 300, and then it's a slight attenuation on the sides. Just a mixing choice, which doesn't really seem to make a difference, but as you're listening to the tune over and over and over again, you find that these slight changes can make a difference as you're listening to it and becoming more analytical of what's going on. So next we got the passive EQ. Is just giving it the tops. I That's just hyping it up a bit, and then we got the SDR, which is like a saturation bus sort of plug-in, which if you put it on warm, can make a really nice, give a nice warm. On sizzle it can affect the highs a bit more, but on this one I chose warm, and then just boosting the frequency response to the high end, so it affects that high end more directly. That's just slightly to tame the highs, but we went a bit too much with this. Yeah, it's just warming it up a bit, and then finally the trash 2, which is on multiband setting, and I think we'll just be dirtying it up even more. Yeah, so that's actually giving it like the main tone. That's the most characteristic effect that's on here. Let's look at the reverb. So with this, I wanted to have a huge roomy sound, but I needed to take away quite a lot of the low for it to sit right in the mix. And that would just cause your mix to be muddy. So if you take this away, attenuate the highs so it doesn't sound as sizzly on the top. So it's not a huge room, it's just 1.19 seconds, it's just giving it that realism. Pro Q2, which is taking away all the side information below 350, which is helping to achieve a cleaner mix. When you've got too much low end information, it can muddy up your mix, but sometimes if done effectively, it can work really well. So if you've got one bass sound which is really wide and then everything else is quite mono, sometimes that can be quite a nice thing to have. But in this case, for the reverb channel, I took it away to help clear. And then finally on that reverb. Well, we've got two compressors. One is sidechaining to a kick and snare ghost channel, so it's making the pump. In fact, let me check. Oh no, so I've sidechained this to the actual main Reese, so it's pumping. So you do this a lot with vocals, actually. So when you've got a vocal coming through, but you want it to have a nice roomy sound or a nice huge hall sound, it's often good practice to sidechain the reverb to the actual source that it's coming from, so that when the original source stops, the reverb comes up, and it's never competing to try and level out. It's constantly, as it's playing, we're getting around 6 dB of gain reduction, but then as soon as the main sound stops, the reverb pumps back up to 0 again, which is giving it a nice roomy sound. That's the most noticeable point you can hear, when that note stops. It helps the reverb come back into the front immediately as soon as the sound stops, which, yeah, as I said, gives a nice clean result, but it doesn't muddy up the mix too much. So yeah, that was that compressor, and then this one is just squeezing it to level out the sound. And any gain reduction at all, just to be safe if anything did pop. This is there to help. So that was let's go on to the main mids bus now. So as I said before, we cut everything below 99 just so we don't conflict with that sub. Making this adjustment is very much just tailoring it to what your ears want to hear. So I would have been playing this and probably taking it down until it starts. That's starting to. So it's just about finding that sweet spot, and then we're just rolling off over 16,000, which is unaudible, but just helps with the clean top end. And then we've got the analog EQ from Waves, just attenuating around 10k again, so it doesn't become too sizzly. Boosting around 10k also. So remember what I said in part 1 about boosting and then attenuating. You can get the best of both, so you're not just boosting something to sound better, you're boosting initially and then attenuating so it sounds clean, but it's like a clean boost. So yeah, that's one of my tricks that I do quite a lot to achieve a top end, because I find one of the most difficult parts of producing drum and bass is trying to get that clean top end, whether that be on your cymbals, your hats, your drums, your snares, your kicks, and your mids. It's just trying to find that balance so it doesn't sound thrashed, but it sounds enough. It sounds energized. That's what I think the thing is. I try to. There's nothing worse than the flat sounding mix. You might have stonking bottom end, but if you've got no energy in the top end, your tunes just aren't going to cut it. So next we've got the compressor again, just leveling out. Because this Reese modulates in volume a lot, because it's obviously heavily detuned. This compressor is just also you don't get any mad spikes at all throughout. Get notes which are louder than others, so that just helps to level everything out. And then finally we have the sidechain, standard, just bouncing off the kick and the snare to get that pump. the snare's not really been sidechained to the bass at all. Just ever so slight, but it makes a huge difference in the final mix. So yeah, that was the main bass channel. And then finally, obviously, of course, we've got the Camel Crusher, which is just limiting again, 0. So let's move on to the sub bus. So on here I have first the multiband, which is just, I think, side. It's not sidechaining. It's just attenuating that 135, which is where the kick seems to be punching through. If I turn this off, you're going to hear that that really boxy mid-range is going to be just muddying up the mix. See below 60 where the main sub is when that note hits this. That's been unaffected, but the first few notes where the region is around here, that just needed to be attenuated just to achieve clean sound, just so it wasn't too roomy and boxy. So that's just a taste. I wouldn't really do this sometimes. Just because of the way, or the key that this tune was in, it was necessary to do that. Otherwise, when you played it on a big system, this region is just way too prominent sometimes. Be careful of that. So next we've got the ozone, which is just limiting and cutting everything above 112. So you don't get any unwanted pops. You can hear there. Maybe just on the mid, anything above 70. That region I was talking about before, that's got a slight bit of compression. I don't think it's even doing anything, but just in case, I probably did have it down here, but then it wasn't. Just took it off. And then the maximizer, which is just squeezing out the sub, making sure it's all no unwanted peaks, etc. And then finally on that sub bus, we've got the sidechain. Kick, which obviously is completely necessary unless you've got a kick which is punching up around 100 to 120, and if your sub's way down by 60, it's not often necessary to sidechain, but in this case, because there was quite a bit of information, low end information in the kick, if I don't do this it will sound flabby. It's not too bad actually, but I find it always safe practice to just do it just in case. Sometimes I'll actually go and use if I've got a really fast paced drum break with loads of kicks and stuff, or if I've got a sub which is changing in notes a lot, I will often use the LFO tool so I can literally draw in the sidechain. So if I've got a kick on every 3, which you would typically have, like this is how I would do it, and that would give you a really punchy result. You know for a fact that no sub is going to be playing at this point in the tune. So I find myself doing that more these days, because as I'm pushing my mixes louder and louder, because inevitably that's what I'm going to achieve, a louder mix sound. I know that sounds wrong, but for dance floor tunes like this, you want to get the sub as loud as physically possible. You want to get your drums hitting as loud as physically possible. So with this, you can get a nice result to do that. So yeah, that was the main bass and the sub channel covered. I think in the future we're going to look at individual processes. But for these first two series on the Mixdown series, first two episodes of the Mixdown series, I just wanted to show you a a bit of this tune, but mainly because, are you ready for this? On Friday, we're going to be releasing this bootleg as a free download on our Soundcloud. So it's also going to be uploaded on a very popular YouTube channel, which you will find out on Friday. But yeah, so as I said, free download. Where's your head at? S9 bootleg, our Soundcloud. So give us a follow to be the first people to see it and download it. We've really enjoyed making this tune. It's been great to see that DJs as big as Andy C have been rinsing it all summer, and we're hoping to kick on now. So yeah, think of it as a gift from us to you. So please enjoy. Have a good one. See you next time.